So you're worried your guy could be a player. If you spot several of these signs in your man's behavior, it could mean you're dating a cheater. Let's get straight into the 15 signs he's a player. Number 1. He's nice in private but less so when he's in public. While the player is extremely nice to a woman in private, he does not put forth as much effort in public. They play the affectionate and sweet man when you're together, but they take on a more distant and less tender personality when they're in public. Usually, bad boys do not like to appear too lovey-dovey in a relationship, or they want to appear as if they are single. Another reason he may be nervous is running into another partner he's dating. The location doesn't matter. Is he more distant to you when other women are around? You can tell if he isn't right for you if there is a big difference between his public and private behaviors. Only if he has something to hide would he act like that. 2. He's guarded with his phone. There is still no better way to spot a cheater or player than this. It's a bad sign if he always keeps his phone with him, or if he only enters his security code in a way that hides it from your line of sight. There is probably something wrong if he's turning his phone away from you when reading a message. It's not unusual for guys to even turn off their phones when they're near you, or to have a second burner phone that they don't use in front of you. It's particularly unusual if he's getting messages frequently late at night. Most of his guy friends won't be texting him at midnight to say goodnight. Number 3. On nights out he keeps track of your movements. If you're on a separate night out, a player will keep track of your whereabouts, to avoid bumping into you at the venue you are at. He will try to make it appear like an accident that he was somewhere else, or he'll make some other excuse. So at the weekend, if he's fishing for information on your movements, it may be so he can plan to avoid bumping into you. It might not be because he's with another woman, he might just be looking for a chance to hit on other women without you getting in the way. Number 4. He suspects you. Most players are usually suspicious of the women they are dating. Because they are capable of the worst disloyal behavior, they will expect others to behave in the same way. They think everyone else is selfish just like them. A man who is never going to settle down with one woman is usually a jealous guy. His jealousy doesn't stop there, he also won't have any trust in you. Because he thinks cheating is normal, he'll suspect the worst of you too. 5. At the weekends he has no time for you. Weekends are busy for a player. He will prefer to meet you during the week rather than on weekends. When he has nothing better to do on a Wednesday night, he wants to be with you. It's also a bad sign if he only wants to hang out late, so he minimizes the amount of time he needs to spend with you. It's a bad sign if he's always busy on a Friday or Saturday. These 2 nights are prime time for a player and he will usually want to keep these clear to hit on other women. 6. He's secretive about what he does when he's not with you. A player will usually try to shut down any conversation about what he did at the weekend with a short as possible answer. He'll try to be as vague as possible with any details. Some guys are just not that talkative, but if this happens frequently, it's something you should be aware of. 7. He has a long list of exes. It's another red flag if he has a large number of exes who he still keeps friends with. Players are quick to start new relationships, but they are also equally bad at ending them. It's often the case that they will overlap with relationships. They will move on to someone else while still stringing his ex along. 8. He pays more attention to his appearance than you do. Is he too concerned about how he looks? Is he more concerned about his appearance when you leave the house together than you are? The worst sign is if a guy who normally doesn't care about his appearance suddenly starts making an extra effort. If he's pulling out all the stops on his appearance for a night out with the boys, it should get your alarm bells ringing. 9. You haven't met his parents yet. There has been no introduction between you and the player's family or friends. Obviously, this is normal for the first few months of a relationship. However, if it's been a year and you still haven't met them, then you should start to ask questions. He might be avoiding it because he's introduced someone else recently, or he just sees the relationship he has with you as a superficial one. 10. He's cheated in the past. It can be foolish to start a relationship with a guy who's married or cheating on someone else. You can't have any confidence that this man won't do the same to you. Recent research from the University of Denver found that people who've had affairs in the past are 3 times more likely to be unfaithful in the future. Starting a relationship with adultery will likely lead to it ending that way too. 11. He won't let you leave things at his place. Even though you're a frequent visitor to his place, he won't let you leave a toothbrush or change of clothes. If you've been dating for months and there's still no trace of you at his apartment, then this could be another warning sign. He may not want to leave clues for other women he's having over at his place. Be careful with this one, as he could just be an OCD clean freak, and he just doesn't want your clutter messing up his place. 12. He disrespects his exes. Most women are not too happy if their guy speaks positively about his ex-girlfriends. When in fact this is usually a good sign. It means he's more likely to respect and care about the women he dates. If he talks badly of his exes, it may mean he dates women he doesn't really care about, or worse, that he probably disrespects all the women he dates. After all, would you like him talking about you in that way if you break up with him? 13. He won't give you a key. If you've been dating for months or years but he still doesn't want you dropping in unannounced, it could be another warning sign. Players don't want to risk giving out a key to their apartment. They can't risk you stopping by unexpectedly. If you're the only woman for him, and he spends a lot of time with you, then he needs to provide a really good reason for not giving you a key. 14. Physical contact with other women seems easy to him. Most guys are raised not to be touchy with women. They avoid this behavior as they don't want to appear like a creep by coming across as too touchy. If your guy is careless with his touches in front of you, then this is a huge red flag. If he touches your friend's arm or shoulder or cheekily flirts with women in front of you, then he could be a player. Most players are comfortable having physical contact with women and flirting comes naturally to them. They struggle to suppress this behavior even if they tried. Number 15. His past is a secret. Your boyfriend is under no obligation to tell you every detail about his past relationships or to open up about all his issues to you right now. As much as possible, respect his privacy and that of his former emotional partners without asking too much and by letting him determine when he is ready to share. In the same way, it is natural to want to learn about your boyfriend's past, including those associated with a romantic relationship. Having an idea of when his last serious relationship ended, the length of the longest romance, and what type of girls he usually dates is normal. If you don't have any clue about this, then to be blunt, you don't really know anything about this guy's background. In conclusion, don't ditch your guy if he only matches one or two of these characteristics. It's nothing to worry about. It probably doesn't mean anything, and there is most likely a different reason for him behaving that way. If he has some of these characteristics, it doesn't mean he's a player or a bad guy. But if he's repeatedly showing several of these behaviors, then it is something you need to bear in mind.